man. Y'all know the vibes. It's your boy Tuck T Certified, man. We finna vibe out right here on today's wave. And y'all know what it is every Sunday and Wednesday. I bring in special guests, man, to dive inside the mind of super dope entrepreneurs, super dope artists, and people that are a part of this whole independency, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's independence, man. We gotta come together, man. Y'all lock in. You know I got Mish Cakes in the building, man. She finna introduce herself, man. We finna dive inside these questions. It's CHITOWN, baby, man. Welcome to today's wave. We smoke that pressure. We talk that pressure. We play that pressure. Right here on the stool. Let's get it popping, man. Mish Cakes in the live. Y'all know what it is, man. Right after these messages, we're gonna dive in. Any questions y'all have, please get into the comments and ask them questions, man. Because we're gonna ask them for you. We're gonna make sure you get answers for them. Mish Cakes in the building. Let's get it in.
Let's get it poppin'. Welcome to today's wave. This is the Stoop platform, hottest and fastest growing platform in the game. And we are your hosts, CHITOWN, baby, Tuck certified. This is where we smoke that pressure. We
Yes,
smoke
sir.
that pressure. And we
Yes,
play
sir.
that pressure. Right here on today's wave. Some of the hottest artists come right through here. Interviews, marketing and promotion. You name it. Let's get it poppin'. Send your music to the email Jermaine Thurston 550 at gmail.com. That's Jermaine Thurston 550 at gmail.com. Hold up, wait. Bang on Friday.
So let's go. Mish Cakes in the building. We finna dive inside the mind of the dope entrepreneur, man. Big making goods, big music, entrepreneur, man. We're gonna dive inside the mind of somebody great, man. Y'all keep going in.
BTMG in the building. The Stoop platform today's wave
Dope.
and Bang Out Friday. Let's
Yes,
get it
sir.
poppin'. Make sure to tap into Jermaine Thurston on Facebook every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Y'all come with the live vibe out with this goddamn baby, man. Mish Cakes in the building, man. Y'all give it up one time. Let's get it in.
Let's get it
Let's go,
poppin'.
let's go, let's
Welcome
go.
to today's
Come on
wave.
in, man. Ray.
This is the Stoop
Come on
platform,
in, man.
hottest
Get in
and
the
fastest
comments.
growing
Be active.
platform
Get in
in
the
the
comments,
game.
please.
And we are your hosts.
Let's go. Mish Cakes, what's going on?
How you doing? Happy Wednesday.
You already happy Wednesday. You already. So we just gonna start like this. I want you to go ahead, introduce yourself. And I like to give, them your social medias before the interview and after the interview. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that twice. So before we even get started, I want you to shout out your social medias where they can find you and tell us your name and where you from.
Okay. My name is Mish. My social media, you can find me on Facebook, SG Misha, or Instagram, SG Misha as well. And then my business pages are Mish Cakes on Facebook, as well as Mish Cakes underscore SG Misha on Instagram. And yeah, I kind of do a lot of things. Mainly, I have a really dope baking brand that I'd love to share about today. I'm an entrepreneur. I also get into a lot of different things. During the day, I work as an educational consultant as well. So I think for me, it's just about just being in a place where I can help people, whether it's learning, um, through tutoring, whether it's, learning about the music industry or food industry or placing an order with me.
Yes, yes, man. Y'all tap in, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I've had the privilege of tasting these baked goods, man, and on both sides. But I've also had the privilege of meeting Mish Cakes and then getting a chance to, bring her a part of, what I got going over here. She jumped into my dream. You know what I mean? The fact that she takes the time out of her day to help build this over here, man, it's been phenomenal. But I tell you something. She jumped in and took off running. Anything that I ask, man, it gets done, without hesitation, man. Great person. So we're gonna jump into these questions, man. We're gonna start this like this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back to back the questions.
Okay.
I have to do with baking and music. We got a double entrepreneur here today, so we're gonna dive inside both of these. You know what I mean? So let's start. with this. What got you into baking at all?
Ooh, um, honestly, I love baking. I think I started, well, bake my first cake when I was like 7 years old
Oh,
in my mom's little toaster oven.
yeah.
Um, I love sweets. Like my nickname in college was Cookie Monster. So, my mom always had tons of cake mixes around because I would always want to bake cupcakes, cakes. I was thinking about this question and I was like, they're probably going to ask me what got me into baking. And honestly, like I loved all the school bake sales. I would just experiment. Like I made with my friends, we would bake anything and everything. Like, what's up, guys? Oh, thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
And I'll tell you a funny story. I learned that you're not supposed to microwave foil in the microwave.
Bet you learned the hard way and
I
didn't get
learned the hard way. Yup, my friend and I, we found this dope recipe for lemon drop cookies, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna make these cookies!" And you know what? We're gonna shortcut. We're just gonna put it in the microwave and get the cookies to bake faster. So we put them on tinfoil. Let me tell you, as soon as we hit the microwave, we had electric sparks were flying. We
Oh,
were
I
like,
already
"Oh
know.
my god!"
I've had to learn the hard way myself.
Yep. So don't ever bake with in the microwave with aluminum foil. You're gonna either burn the microwave or possibly electrocute yourself. So thankfully we were okay, but that was a tough lesson to learn. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved baking. I've always loved baked goods. Um, I was gonna say like when I was younger, like um, my aunt when I lived in Korea, my aunt used to always eat a slice of cake for breakfast. And so my grandfather would always go to a different bakery every week and would get her a new cake that she could eat the slices for breakfast. And I just thought that was really cool. Like she was like my fun aunt. She was the pretty popular one. She was the young
Yeah.
one. And so watching her eat like a slice of cake with this like cup of coffee was all distinguished. And, I was like, oh, I want to be like her. So that definitely inspired, I always
Yeah.
say a slice of cake a day keeps bad negative vibes away.
Of course it does. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. If I walk into my kitchen right now
Yeah.
and I had a cake sitting on the counter, no matter if I had to take a bite of that cake or whether it be because I love sweets, I'm a sweethead. My dad was a sweethead. Father beats me a sweethead. We love sweets.
Yeah.
But if we walked in there right now and seen a nice whatever type of cake it was, carrot cake, chocolate cake, man, Hennessy cake, we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna
Ooh,
get
yep. We know those.
but I'm telling you, I would smile and I would think about that cake. That cake is gonna make me feel like it gives you a good baked goods always give you a good feeling. You know what I mean,
Absolutely.
man? So I could say I agree. Definitely agree. Um, let's get into the back to back question on this. What got you in to music? We're not gonna get into the management yet. We will, but what got you into music?
Um, my dad.
Okay.
My dad, he inspired me with. He would always play like a lot of classical music. He loved
Yeah,
like really symphonic music, like movie music, things like
yeah,
that. So he paid for all my piano lessons. I've probably taken about somewhere to on and off like 12 to 13 years of piano. Um, I took all my conservatory exams, my music theory, solfege. I did all my recitals, and he invested in all of that. I think he was the person behind my passion for piano, anything related to the keys, and just really instilled in me that love for music. Like when I would practice piano, like even if I was, messing up and things like that, I think one of my best images is like the bond I had with my dad was like he would sometimes like he would sit on the couch when I'm practicing and just close his eyes and just listen
yeah,
and
yeah,
vibe to whatever. And I could be
yeah,
making mistakes left and right, and I'd look
yeah,
over to see if he was just already in his zone, just listening
yeah,
to me play. Whether it's
yeah,
Chopin, Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, whether it was Bach,
yes,
Beethoven, maybe it was just doing scales, just practicing my scales back and forth. He would just encourage me with his
yeah,
love for classical music, and he always just told me, play the piano. Mish, just
yeah,
play the piano and never stop. And
yeah.
so I kept that with me.
Yeah, and I can say this, man. My brother. he is big on he's on big on music. My dad was big on music. You know, his dad, my dad's dad, like from all the way back to the juke joints when my that shit's in my blood. So I know when you
Yeah,
saying like it kind of comes with it. But I tell you what, the story you just gave us on your pops, you would say that not only did he kind of push you towards music, would you say that he's like one of your inspirations?
absolutely. He's one of my inspirations. He passed away about 4 years ago, and I think
Or to
that
hear that?
was, thank you, that was like probably a really life defining moment for me because, like, I'm his only daughter, and I had such a great father daughter bond. I think that's a lot of where I bring I mean, my mom is wonderful too, but he really gave me that stability and
Yeah,
confidence to kind of be like courageous in the world with or
yeah,
without him.
yeah,
So like, yeah, sometimes I get a little emotional, but yeah, he
yeah,
definitely inspired, um, just that love for classical music, anything music. Like he would listen to rock songs, he would listen to rap songs. He thought,
yeah,
anything with a fun beat, he would just start, But I
yeah,
think, he was just really inspired me to pursue music, love music, have a passion for it, and then just never stop playing the
yeah,
piano. Like I always, even though I'm not, teaching piano or playing piano professionally right now, I'm always willing to like just, at least a couple times a week, I'll freestyle on the keys, just keep them, if I hear something in my head and I just want to execute it. I just bought a new digital piano, so
yeah.
I'm excited to get on
Man,
that too.
that excited me, man. I called product up like, man, you won't believe this, bro. I'm like, I'm not sure if I should tell you. Maybe she should call and tell you, but I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm like, you order the MIDI board, man. It's up, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys something, man. Like we talking about music, and we talking about like you had said something about your dad just closing his eyes and just listening to the notes. Music
Yeah,
is a feeling. Even baking, that's a feeling for you. When you get to baking, you love to bake. Like
yeah,
that's something you would have to love to do to be able to do that. How you do it. You would have to love. It's a craft. It's an art. It's just like me being an artist and getting out my lyrics.
yeah,
Same thing you're doing
absolutely.
with baking your, because you're bringing, whatever you're conjuring up here, you're putting into your baking. You're putting in it. You're making up this flavor, you're making up this taste, and all that is a feeling, man, and that really comes through the roots and through the blood of ancestors, man, like real shit. Like there's no way, like I don't believe this. There's no way that like if your family didn't have music talent or baking talent or football talent or basketball talent, if that shit wasn't in your blood already, there's no way you would like always gravitate to it because for me,
Yeah.
music always pulled me back. I
Mhm.
I did music years ago, years ago. You know what I mean? I did. I cooked years ago. I love to cook. You know what I mean? I can't work in the kitchen now. I just rather do music 110%. But like, so for you, when you're baking, what is the feeling like? What's the feeling you get when you're actually doing something that you love to do?
It's like a little adrenaline rush, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a happy place. I think that's why I love that I can get into baking, I can get into music because it's all creativity. You're following a template, whether it's a recipe, whether it's notes, whether it's for you guys it's a verse and a hook. That's the
yeah,
templates there, but you have creative artistry to come up with, what you envision is going to be this great product. And so once you get into it, to me, it's like my happy place.
yeah, yeah,
Whether I'm on the piano, whether I'm baking, it's like I'm in my happy place. And then when I start seeing, the cake rising and then I'm starting to decorate, it's coming together. Like that's when I'm like, all right, time to unleash some of that creativity now.
yeah, yeah, man. I can tell you something right now. When you start creating something, you may not like no one else may not see what you're creating, but you already know what you're creating because you could see the
Yeah.
finished product already. You know what I mean? And just getting into that, man. I had this question I just conjured up just now, and I wanted to ask you: is there anything that you created on the baking side that that isn't out that no one would know of, or like something that it's Mish cakes? Like, is there anything that you created yet?
If it's a secret, I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Yes,
Right? Because
yes, yeah.
everybody asks me, even at my work, the president of my company asked me when I hit first place. He was like, what's your secret to selling? And I was like, dang, he goes right for the money question.
Yeah, he
So,
wants to know right now.
yeah, but I have some things in the tuck. I've experienced. I made my first tiramisu this year. I was really happy with. I'm always screenshotting, saving recipes. I'm on TikTok all the time, YouTube, Pinterest. I'm always looking up new trends. Sweets, baking. I'm experimenting in the background. Some things turned out great. Some things I'm like, okay, maybe we got to tweak that one a little bit. But do I
Yeah,
have like a
yeah,
few things? I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna
yeah,
say stay tuned.
yeah. That's exciting. That's exciting. And then let's get over here on this on the music side. So I know Product Beats, if y'all don't know, my brother makes beats. We're
Product.
building we're building something called the fraternity. Product Beats is he's an industry producer. He's been in the game about 20 years, 25 years. I mean, big industry names, small independent names. At the end of the day, it's what we doing now. And we came together with Space Gang Mafia, and we're finna get into that, the whole Space Gang Mafia. But I tell you what, me sent us a clip of a video with her playing over top of the beat. I've heard people send him melodies doing the same thing before, but not like that. And I've never seen him so intrigued in my life. First time he heard it, he jumped out his chair and he was like, "Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it right here." You know what I mean? And I see that you have talent on the piano, and you said that you kind of grew up playing it. What was the inspiration for that? Like, what kind of made you gravitate to the piano instead of any other instrument?
Um, I was told the piano is sort of like the foundation for everything. You learn notes, major, minor notes. You learn the scales, and so, um, and I found that to be very true because if you have a strong foundation in music theory and piano, you basically know how to play notes on different instruments because you know
Yeah,
what the notes are. You have the theory background already. And then piano, I just found that it's easy for me to create melodies on the piano because I have so many years of just ingrained teaching in piano. So
yeah,
now, like my favorite thing that I really want to get into more is like take like a classical Chopin piece that I used to play and dissect it and now turn it into a freestyle melody on a
yeah,
beat. And I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send you like a
yeah,
little video clip I did of a classical music piece, just the first like an
yeah,
intro into it, and then how I took that apart and made it with like a pad sound, a simplified version, but more I could hear a beat going with it, like
yeah,
a trap beat or a
yeah.
hip hop beat or
Modernize. Yeah,
exactly. And so I listen to a lot of beats now and I'm like, okay, I know what he did with the melody. I know what she did with the melody. Now let's say if we can jazz that up or make it a little bit more original. So I've
yeah,
listened to so many beats now where I can kind of figure out what the sort of general pattern is, what the algorithm is for successful.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, is there ways we can push that up? That's where
yeah,
I'm.
yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, I took a second to actually listening to the notes you were playing. You know what I mean? It wasn't just about
Yeah,
listening to the whole beat together because I dissect beats. You could play an instrumental, and I'll hear each individual sound because that's just who I am. You know what I mean? But
right.
I got a chance to listen to you really play, and music is a feeling. And music comes from, that feeling comes from being, the sacrifices you've made in your life and being through, different situations and, getting through those situations. You could feel that in your notes. I could hear it in the strength of the notes, in the quality of the notes. What would you say some of the sacrifices you've had to make to maintain your business on the baking side, and then to maintain your business on the management side? What are some of the sacrifices you've had to make?
Ooh, he goes for those hard hitting questions. um, you sacrifice a social life. You sacrifice
Mhm.
you sacrifice
Mhm.
what you can do in a 24-hour day. I really am fully immersed in everything that I do, whether it's baking, music, whether it's tutoring, 40 to 50 hours a week. And then whenever I'm not doing something, I'm jumping on, like I'll be up
Yeah,
till 3 or 4 in the morning. People will hit me on Messenger. I don't even realize my Facebook's still open. I'm here watching like some baking videos on
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah.
Guys, I haven't had a chance to respond to comments, but I'm so excited to.
I'm over here doing it for us. I'm multitasking. I'm multitasking.
Yep. So I definitely feel like there's a sacrifice to your time, your, amount of hours you get to sleep. There's no days off. You know that, tough T
Yes,
certified. You know we
yes.
have no days off. If we take off, it's because we scheduled off
Yeah,
in advance too, just to make sure
yeah,
that we would have that day off. And then even on our days off, on my days off, I'm still responding to emails. I'm still
yeah.
messaging people about orders. I'm still working on my calendar for next month.
There's
I'm
light
still
days.
working on
There's
ideas.
no days off. There's light days.
Like,
Real
yes,
shit.
that's a good one. Light days. There's
Light
light
days.
days where maybe you don't have as many responsibilities physically to deliver on. Like, I don't have to deliver a cake today, or
Yeah,
100 treats. But there's
yeah,
other things that I'm always getting into. But I love it. That's my passion. It's like if I'm gonna do something, I'm going all in. I need to be
yeah,
fully immersed in it. Like I can catch up sleep later. I can catch up, on other stuff later. But um, I think lately, I feel like, to be honest, stuff like this year, I've been like the busiest ever, and in some ways the happiest ever, because I'm doing everything in some shape or form that I've always wanted to do.
yeah,
And I feel
yeah,
like I'm just scratching the surface. Like there's more to come. And I think you and I both feel that, like, you
yeah.
know, energy slash, anticipation. So yeah.
There
I don't
was
know
a
if that really answered your question about the sacrifices, but I
you
guess you have
did.
to cut out some things, that you can't always go
Yeah,
party every weekend.
yeah. You definitely answered the questions, man. 'Cause I tell you what, sacrifice a lack of sleep is definitely a major sacrifice. Like a lack of sleep, like even when we sleep and we not sleeping because we thinking so goddamn much, we
Yep.
halfway sleep. You know what I mean? Like I know what you mean. Like I definitely know what you mean.
You ever
Um,
like talking in your sleep, or you wake up out of a dream and you were like, was that real? Was I really meeting with that person, or was that my dream?
yeah, it felt so vivid. You know what I mean? Because that's the life that we live, man.
Yeah.
We choose to make to make these decisions. We choose to get this done. We choose to be these people. But here's the difference, man. So I explained it to Sally Sweets, and she explained it to me. We both was on the same page like this. There's an athlete and there's an elite athlete. And that would be like it would be like, a boss and then somebody who's just a boss, who just comes in and gets a paycheck or comes in and actually gets fucking shit done. You feel
Mhm.
what I mean? Like I consider Misha, I consider you an elite athlete. You're going the extra mile. Like we're on the phone making sales. We're on the phone making connections. We're on the phone. Fuck texting or trying to network through somebody else. We're trying to reach out to that person directly. Like that's the way this has to work in order for us to be successful independently, or we're gonna be stuck, you know, trying to do chase somebody else's dream. We're trying to chase our own dreams. Like, so we'll say Mish Cakes, um, Space Gang Mafia, PTMG, you know what I mean? These are household names. It's ours. You know what I mean? No one can take that from us. And that's like the best feeling we can have is to be able to have something as ownership. If you could go back and prepare, younger me, you know what I mean, for today, what kind of information would you give yourself to prepare yourself for today?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Yeah, we're
That
gonna give nothing but the good ones today. Nothing but the good ones.
I probably would have told younger Mish, don't worry so much about what people think of you, because, um, like, especially with social media now, we're just so much more visible. We're much more
Yeah,
accessible.
yeah.
People who, you would never meet maybe on the street, they can find you on social media now. And
Right
so
now.
exactly, like at this moment as I'm sharing
Yeah,
the live. And
yeah,
that's great because now we have a wider reach, but that
yeah,
also can be a little bit, um, it can make you self-conscious.
yeah,
And I think, as a young girl, like probably like a lot of other, young girls, I struggled too with feeling insecure, whether it was like, about my race, or about how, who, because, at my high school was like predominantly one race. And so I always felt a little bit more
yeah,
self-conscious about that, you
yeah,
know, um, whether it's about just feeling more confident, I think I would have tried, I would have told younger Mish, like, try not to focus on the things that in the long run they're not going to make. At this point of life, they're not going to make that big
Yeah,
of a difference. Like,
yeah,
if people are hating, let them hate,
yeah. I
and
agree.
that famous Cat Williams thing where he says, if you have ladies, if you got 14 haters, you got to find out how to have
There's
16 more
nothing.
by the
That's
summer.
that is fact.
And when
Like,
I heard that, I was like, and I thought about that, and I was like applauding, but I was like, now wait a minute, did I hear him correctly? Do I
yeah,
really want that?
you I really want another one of those.
Yeah, do I really want that? Do I really want that many more people, you know, um, just studying me,
Yeah,
observing me, wanting to know my, and then I was like, or being like, and I was thinking, I understand. It's like you have to take everything that comes with it, and just don't worry. Focus on yourself in a good way. Focus on the task. Focus on what you need to do. I would have told my younger self, because I tended to worry about what other people think about me, and I still
yeah,
do, even like my
yeah.
family's approval. You
We're
know,
human. We're
mhm,
human.
exactly. And so, like I worried a lot about what others, whatever judgments they might make of me, and like I still have a little bit of that, but it's a lot. I'm a lot more free. I'm a lot
Right.
free with all of that, and at some point when you stop caring and about what everyone else wants you to be or who they think you should be, who
Talk
they
that.
think you should be with, how they think you should live your life, down to how you should dress and do my hair. Like, my mom hates that I dye my hair all the time, but at some point I don't care. She knows. She's like, "What color are you doing that?" She goes, "Could you make it a little less blonde or a little less orange?" I'm like, "Okay." And then next year she'll see me. She'll be like, "You didn't listen to me." I'm like, "Nope."
It sounds like brown. It sounds like she's trying to get you to brown.
She's always, she's gotten to a point where she wants to get me to a happy medium. She's like, "No more tattoos," and I'm like, "Okay, we'll see."
Larissa Lowe, from out of West Virginia, she says, as long as they hating, then you doing something right. I'm gonna tell you something, yo. Let's talk about the hater. Let's talk about the hatred. So my brother taught me something, yo, and that's when we came up with today's wave. Today's wave is just not about today's waves, hottest artists. Like, this is today. It's also about, today is your day, but stay on your own wave. Like, make your own wave, make your own legacy, make your own, make your own shit. Like, stop following people, stop trying to stop, make your own trends. You know what I mean? Like, don't let people just think like, okay, they have a hashtag, let's follow their hashtag. Create your own hashtag, man. Like, and I mean that literally in real life. Like, create your own hashtag, create your own wave. Like, that's what today's wave is about. Is like, that's why everybody I bring up here is not just, today's wave musically. I bring up entrepreneurs, I bring up, celebrities, I bring up independents, I bring up football players, high school to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not playing. I want people that are making today. You know what I mean? That are making their own situation, making their own opportunity. I was on the phone with Trig one day, and Trig had said, I'm like, "Where's me?" She's like, "She working right now." You know what I mean? And then later on that day, I had seen her post a picture of this Hennessy cake. Told you we was gonna bring this up. So she had posted this picture of this Hennessy cake. All right, so I've seen bake offs all throughout the TV. Like, they got them competitions and stuff like that. I really believe you could win something like that. So, where did the creation come from, that Hennessy cake? Tell us a little bit about that cake, and and maybe who it was for, because that cake was fucking incredible.
Thank you. Um, yeah, a lot of my clients will order Hennessy or alcohol infused cakes, Casamigos, Hennessy, heart shape, and they're really popular right now. And I think it's nice because, for $100 or something, you get a cake, you get maybe some chocolate strawberries on it, you get some cake, some Hennessy mini bottles. And so it kind of gives you a really fun yet pretty cake. You get
Yeah,
to pick your color of your icing, you get a theme, and then the Hennessy, you can go ahead and then turn up on your birthday with the little Hennessy mini bottles afterwards. So,
yeah,
they're definitely viral and trending. They're popular all throughout the nation. And so I just really hopped on that trend, and I realized in Pittsburgh there's a great market for alcohol infused cakes. So there's always somebody who wants to turn up with their birthday cake, literally. And so I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
why not?
yeah. So like, only reason I want to talk about that cake is because I know a lot of people around me that are looking for cakes.
Yeah.
And I know Sally Sweet said, "Oh, when you get on that interview, you let Mish Cakes know that I need to talk to her about delivery." You know what I mean? She wants to see how, and then Product Beats, he's like, "When you get on that interview, you let her know I need to know about, delivery, shipping." And so, how what are like the what are the limits on shipping
So
products like that?
yeah, so cakes I haven't really shipped yet. I've done some research. I've talked to some people who and bakers and baking companies that do the shipping. You basically need dry, pack it well with dry ice. Cakes
Right,
they can stay in their right form and not lose anything if you package it correctly and use the
right,
shipping guidelines.
right.
But I haven't really shipped any cakes yet. I'm still a little nervous about that aspect because I'm always worried as soon as it leaves, me, that
Yes,
that will
yes.
be that when it gets to your hands, that it's still going to look the exact way it looked when
Yeah.
it left me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
But
y'all
yeah,
hear it directly, goddamn it.
but I think that goes in line with, it might be a little bit of a tangent of who I am. Is I'm still that person who wants to have a hands-on, like, I want to be hands-on. I want to be still have a hand in everything that I'm
Yeah,
involved in. And
yeah,
even if I'm delegating some extra, you know, baking packaging, I've had friends help me with packaging. Maybe even I might even start, because I'm getting so many orders, I might start having some baking help, but I'll always still be there to oversee, because I really, people ask, do you want to start a storefront? Mish, what's your next? Everybody's asking, what's the next step? And I'm like, I'm not 100% sure I want to go that route, because I like the mobility I have. I like the
right,
fact that I'm still small enough that I can create things randomly on a given Wednesday and
right
just,
now. Yeah,
you know, do like a
yeah,
quick sell or a quick promo. But I'm always going to want to have that, that mom and pop
yeah, yeah, I
shop
already know.
versus a
I already
franchise.
know.
That's my
Yeah,
heart. How
yeah,
to expand without losing that personal touch.
yeah. See, and I say this because, Space Gang Mafia and PTMG have, we're coming together. Product Beats has been taking over the time over the last 2 weeks trying to put the right contract together for these guys, because at the end of the day, like, this is they're really not playing. Like, we've been interviewing me since, since we came on about 30 minutes ago, 31 minutes ago, and it's all growth. And I hear the way that you wanna be hands-on, and we're like that. Like, the fact that we're working with people more like us, puts us, like, chasing each other's dream, and instead of one of us chasing one other dream, you know what I mean? We got the same, we on the same path. We on the same wave. We want the same stuff. Like, I don't wanna lose touch with nothing that I do. Like, no matter how big I get, I'm always gonna be hands on. I'm always gonna have, I'm always gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like, you're never not gonna get, when you book Mish Cakes, you get Mish Cakes. When you book Tough Tea Certified, you're gonna get Tough Tea Certified. Like, and when you get bigger, it's kind of hard to say that you're gonna be able to do that when you get bigger, but like, we can do our best to do that, to be hands on. Is, that's just how we want to network. That's how we want to get out here. That's how we want to deliver. Like, when I hand you a product, I would love to, sell that product right then and there. Like, so who you're getting it from. You're getting it from whether it be me, Mish Cakes, Trig, Product Beats, Soldier Quan, Houston, no matter who it is. When we sell you a product, we want you to know that you're dealing with good product. And you're dealing with good people behind the product. My grandma used to tell me, she used to say, "Listen, grandson, how you are is how people are gonna treat you." You feel what I mean? If you're a great person, you know what I mean, in the future, when you're a great person, if you're a great person now, people are gonna like you for whatever it is that you choose to do from here on out. If you continue to be a great person, people are gonna love you for what you do now and what you tend to do, or, from here on out. So if you love me genuinely, you know me genuinely, you know what type of person I am, or vice versa. Mish Cakes, you know what type of person she is genuinely. I see a lot of people that deal with her because they like her as a who she is. So they just want to buy her product because they because they fuck with her. You know what I mean? Like, I said something to post the other day, Mish. I said, if you genuinely support me, it shouldn't matter what I drop or what, what kind of content. Because I'm not dropping nothing disrespectful. I'm not dropping, I'm dropping music or content related content. So if you really fuck with us, support what we have genuinely because we're gonna do that for you tenfold every time. You feel
Absolutely,
what I mean? Yeah.
absolutely. I was thinking of you were saying how like it's today's wave tour, and I meant to mention this earlier, and I wanted to not forget. But do you know, like almost a year and a half before I met you, before I met all the PTMG, I started this little caption, and I used to use it on my Instagram. It was "Lil Baker on a big wave."
Little Baker on a big wave. What's the odds, man? Like what's the odds?
And I felt like, listen, I'm like I'm petite size, and then on top of that, I was still little understanding of everything I was doing, but I had this big vision, and I felt like there was a big wave, and I'm this little baker on a big wave. But then I was like,
Yeah,
whoa, we're on today's wave. I was like, the wave
yeah,
is just it just feels like it kind of gave me like goosebumps. I was like, whoa.
yeah. It's right. It's right. It's right. I'm telling you. Let's get. I know we've been talking a lot about the bakery, like the baking and what you get into with as far as the baking and well, I want to get into a little bit more about this music and what you do on the music side. Um, how did you come to be a part of Space Gang Mafia? Before we even get into it, how did you become to be a part of Space Gang Mafia?
So Trig asked me to help with managing him as an artist, and then Space Gang Mafia at the time that I met was Nell, G were some of the other Space Game Mafia artists that he might have brought me around. And I listened to, I didn't really know too much about rap, trap music, like other than like some industry rappers and rap
Yeah,
music that I listened to.
yeah,
But I listened to some of their songs, and I could see that, whether they're freestyling or had me listen to some of the songs, they had like talent and like a raw passion. And
yeah,
if anything, like that raw passion kind of drew me to their sound because um, there was like that, to me, whatever you're doing, whether it's what Space Game Mafia had that attracted me to them was that they had that spark in their eyes.
yeah,
I
yeah,
had one in mine, and so it matched. And it's
yeah.
like, then I was like, okay, Space Game Mafia wants to do music in Pittsburgh, and I'm not from Pittsburgh. I'm actually my family's in Korea and New York. So I was born in New Jersey / New York, so
Okay,
I'm really more of a New
let's
Yorker.
go.
So let me just say this: like everybody who feels like it's hard to make it in Pittsburgh, I understand. I understand a lot of the struggle with that and just being like the getting the local support, but it's way harder in New York. It's
Yeah,
a lot.
what? Hey, that's what I say that
It,
all the time. Pittsburgh has no idea. They have no idea. New
you
York,
know,
Chicago, Cali, shit like
these
that.
big metropolitan large cities, like it's easy to just you're a dime a dozen. It's like you get lost in a you're like in a drop in a big
Yeah,
bucket of talent. And so I saw like these guys, Space Game Mafia, had like some real creativity and talent and a good ear for music, but like Trig had the lyricism, Nell had like the freestyle. He really had a way of conveying his thoughts through bars very artistically. And so, for example, like I could hear like, okay, like I really like the way that they approach music, and
yeah,
that's kind of how I got into the Pittsburgh music scene, through
yeah,
them, through shows, through podcasts, interviews,
yeah,
going to everything, and then kind of helping with management representation was more just like, yeah, we threw our own show a couple months after I met them. We threw our first like 412 day show. I don't know how we pulled it off. It was a lot of late nights creating
yeah,
flyers because nobody knew how to use a template, so we had to make it ourselves, and
yeah,
then just book a venue and put the money up, and drop, you pour the pennies out your bank account.
yeah.
And
I know.
it was so much fun though, and I think that's what it is. You gotta have fun with whatever you're doing. It was so much fun, just and somewhere like, sorry, that's my dog.
You good. You good.
Somewhere like Pittsburgh, you could, it's still small enough where you can get that engagement. You can get that engagement with other artists. You can get that
Yeah.
engagement with fans. You can throw a show for under $1,000, and I'm talking.
Say that shit twice.
You could throw a show for under $100, and I'm talking
Yeah,
a couple hours a venue, a DJ, and maybe some security. And
Yeah.
then, at least everybody who's when you're getting into larger cities, 1,000 is not going to cut it. We're talking
Nope.
couple thousand just to pull it off and actually have a decent crowd. So I feel like, oh, this was like a land of opportunity. So Space Gang, they kind of more found me, and then we kind of found each other, and then I got to know, each of the artists, and mainly with Trig. I decided to, help with the management, and you know, um, ever since then, that was what, almost 5 years ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Soldier Quan came to me, I want to say a year ago. He's like, man, Trick Lucci, Trick Lucci, Trick Lucci, Trick Lucci, Trick Lucci. I'm like, all right, bro, I hear you. I hear you. You know what I mean? I hear you, bro. Let me look into this. This Trig Lucci guy. You know what I mean? And then I would see both of y'all. Kind of like hand in hand. You know what I mean? So I already put two and two together. He's like, yeah, that's management, man, and this is his team. But
Hmm.
you had said something about us. We're gonna talk on his team. You said something about them. Trig had the lyrics. Such and such had this. Such and such had this. They all kind of like, had what the other one didn't have. So there, it was going hand in hand. They were backing each other. That's what you need in a team. You need somebody to that's gonna, if I miss something, I need somebody that's not gonna miss that. You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Or I need somebody that's gonna tell me, "Hey, man, you're fucking up. This isn't the way. This is good." Don't tell me like that, but you know what I mean. Pull me aside, like, look, there's no way this is gonna work. You know what I mean? This is what we should do, and I'm the type of guy that's gonna be like, okay, you know what I mean? Let's do it your way. Because at the end of the day, I'm not always right. No one's always right. So you need a team. But you had said something about them, man, and that for me, that's powerful. I love a team that can like kind of, you know, back each other up. And then here comes, Misha. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you bring in this power too that makes that team even more powerful, man. With now you guys are doing visuals, now you guys are getting major features, now you guys are doing major shows, winning World Star and doing all these things, man. I'm gonna tell you, this group right here, Space Gang Mafia, they got their own movement. They got their own fucking motion. Mish Cake's own movement, own motion. Since I've met them, they've introduced me to some incredible people, man. And I got to shout my boy out. I got to show that love. You know what I'm saying?
He was gonna
Dirty Laundry merch, you know what I'm saying? Icy, shout out to my guy. You
shout out
feel me?
IC.
Y'all go get y'all Dirty Laundry merch. Y'all go get y'all Mish Cake merch. You feel me? These vendors right here, bro. Anywhere I go, they will be with they will be with us. And I don't just consider them PTMG, they family. So it's Space Gang Mafia, it's Dirty Laundry, it's PTMG. You feel me? Calligraphy music, man. Our foundation right now is so strong because at the end of the day, what you saw in Space Gang Mafia, I see in you guys. You feel what I'm saying? I already see that. Like I know if I try to do something and it may be the wrong way, I know you and Trigger are gonna call me and tell me like there's no way this is gonna work. That's the type of people I need around me. I need people around me that's gonna, they may not agree. You know what I'm saying? We may not agree, but we able to debate that shit out until we figure out a solution. And that's just what it is. It's business. So, with that being said, do you think business relationship and a friendship relationship can be mixed?
Business relationship and a friendship relationship. I think everybody who does business together has to have some kind of friendship.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's up to the people who are working together to define the nature of that ship,
That
you
part.
know. And
Yeah.
then, you two, you guys determine the boundaries of what, basically how you'll communicate with each other. And I always say, like, people ask me, I think about this too, and I was having a conversation. I think it was Trig and somebody else, maybe. No, it was actually just Trig. We're talking about, like, you know, in our industry, whether it's, food or music, as a successful business owner, entrepreneur, public figure, you have to be able to work with the opposite gender. You have to be able to work with, as a female, I have to be able to work with females. I have to be able to work with males and not make it personal, meaning if I, you know, can't go on a date with you, but I would love to work with you. Let's work. If you
Yeah,
want to swerve,
right.
you come to swerve.
Let's find this common ground where
Right.
y'all understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. I mean, sometimes it develops into something else, and but that's, I don't think anybody really plans, or you can't control all of that. But I think what
yeah,
you can do is decide how you want to be with each individual that you do business with, that you have friendships with. And I do think, though, when you go into business, going into business with your friends or your family is very tricky.
yeah,
Um, and I think that's something that, I've learned from my family. A lot of my family members are in some kind of successful business or running their own businesses. And I've seen who, from my family side, a lot of money issues. And
yeah.
so, even my brother, like he told me, don't lend money to anybody. And he goes, because by the time you give it out, you gave money.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to come back. So he was like, so if you don't want, and he said this because he learned from his experience. He had a family member ask for 30, that 30 became 70, that 70 became 300. To
Hmm.
this day, there's a relative that still owes my brother $600.
You're
And my
opening a revolving door. That's facts.
Yep. And the more money he makes, the more they want to come to him. And so my brother, he just says, nope, if you ask me for money, you're either cut off. The answer is no. If you continue to ask me for money, you'll get cut off. He goes, because that's not
Sweet.
the kind of relationship I want to have with friends or family all over money.
Yeah. Let's establish something real quick, Meech.
Yes.
So there's a boundary. My
Mm.
dad taught me this as a kid, and then it's in the Bible. God says no man can build on another man's foundation. Like you're not supposed to do that. Like you're just not supposed to do that. Like at the end of the day, like when I say this, like I'm a grown man. I'm supposed to have my shit together. What I look like calling you, knowing you got 4 kids, knowing you got bills and priorities, and asking you to borrow money. Now you got to take that money. You got to take, and it's $10 a day. I say it's $10 to $20 a day to feed a kid every day. So if you got 4 kids, you do the math: 20, 40, 60, 80. That's $80 a day, right there. Let's do the math. I'm just saying. So if you're asking me to borrow $40, you're taking from 2 of them kids because now I have to wait on that money
Right.
when you do decide to pay me. You know what I mean? Skip, and then you got a lot of people that skip the $20, $30 shit. They want to get straight to the Hyundai. They want the Hyundai right now because they got something they need done. Now, think about this. Say Mish has, she has to do a baking seminar in Chicago. She has to fly to Chicago. But check me out. John and Jane, they just asked her to borrow $40. The other one wanted 60. That's 100 what? You know what I'm saying? Like gone. Now when she travels, she's 100 something light because she looked out for somebody else. Now it's a good deed, but guess what? She's 100 something light on her travel. So that's less things she has to. I think of it like this. That's how I think of it. Like at the end of the day, we shouldn't be here taking from one another. We should be here really trying to help someone make it. You know what I mean? So instead of asking people to borrow money, how about we ask them a way that maybe we can go make money? You know what I mean? Like how you can help me get a job somewhere. Like I'm having a problem getting a job, or could you maybe help me do this or help me do that? There's other ways to go get money, or at maybe an opportunity. Maybe you give somebody an opportunity, and that's one thing Mish Cakes, Space Gang Mafia, PTMG we have to offer is we
Yeah.
have opportunities for you. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I just got into saying like it's just I don't think it's fair to ask someone else to borrow money. It's just not fair. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they might do it, and it's a good deed on on the person who lent it to you, but think about what you're doing when they're actually giving you that money. And if you have the intention on not paying them, there's no point even asking because 90% of these people don't get paid back. So I agree, Mish. I agree on not loaning people money. Me and your brother, we get along very, very well on that aspect. At the end of the day, like I said, we're here to make money, not take money. I say that that's my little slogan. We're here to make money, not take money. Um, and
Let me give
I
you a
like,
free giveaway. Let me surprise you with the.
like
I'm
you
a
know,
giver. Let me one day just be like, you know what?
Bing. What? Um,
When the money's really rolling in, then it might be more than you. Oh wow, Misha's feeling generous today, and I like that element of surprise in a good way.
yeah, and Imma tell you something though, and, like, my team, man, I would love for the people around me to give you guys a lane to make music, or I would love to help your businesses, or I would like that's another thing with, us having independent businesses. Mish, what do you feel on, actually supporting another business? You know what I mean? Like, what kinda information or what kind of yeah, we'll say that. What kind of information would you give, up and coming other entrepreneurs on actually supporting another business? Like, do you believe they should support other businesses, or do you think they should? And tell
I,
us why.
yeah, I'm a big, maybe just my heart as a local business owner and small business owner. I'm big on supporting each other because there's enough room for everybody to eat, and
Yeah,
I've supported different merch, different food places. I try to eat locally and put whenever like there's a new place that opens up. I'm actually doing desserts through a uh, brand new restaurant in Pittsburgh. I like that it's locally based. It's not a franchise, or at least not yet. But it's just like
mhm,
I like. I think if you can, as much as you can, support locally, support local restaurants, your local chefs, bakers, artists, merch. Speaking of Dirty Laundry, I was like, this is a local brand. There's a couple other local merch brands. They have good quality, a custom design that I could see it doing well in New York, but it came from here.
yeah,
A
yeah,
person who had a heart and a vision for it from here. So then they bring that about themselves into their craft, and I think it's like I think it's really great to be mutually supportive, and I would encourage any new up and coming business owner, entrepreneur, if you're just starting out your baking business or food business, or just even making music, definitely support others, support them like you would want to be supported back.
there it is. There it is.
That's
Support them like you wanna be supported.
you want it the way you want to be, kind of like treat others the way you'd want to be treated. Same thing, support others the way you'd want to be supported. Like, it feels good
Yeah,
to be supported, doesn't it? It feels great when somebody says they're rocking their Mish Cake shirt, or they
you hear me? Yeah,
get a shout out on Facebook or Instagram because we're really happy with the cake or the treat they got. It's a great, it's a great feeling, and it's a great way to spread that positivity. So I always say, like, absolutely support others whenever you can, and like, you don't have to like everything that everybody does. We all have our
yeah,
preferences, but if you know enjoyed their music or enjoyed their food, let them know, because everybody likes to be appreciated. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I tell you that for sure. I say this every time I'm live. I'm a walking billboard. You know what I mean? Like anybody
Yes,
that
you
has
are.
merch, like, and I'm in a whole 'nother state. So
Yeah.
even if y'all would like to send me a package and stuff, like I'm always live. I'm always able to promote.
Right.
Hey, if you want to purchase this, this. But I always got somebody's merch on when I'm live, or if I'm live streaming, or if I'm out, whether it be mine or someone else. I have a lot of shirts with different logos on it, and it's not just mine because I support so many different independent businesses. So I definitely agree with you,
More
me,
to
'cause at the
mine.
end of the day, these cakes all the way, bro. Like, Imma tell y'all something. This is how me and Product sat down and we thought this out. Now think about this. All right, you got PTMG, we out of Chicago and Atlanta and Pittsburgh, because these are our homes. These are where we actually have teams built to where before we even go into the city, there's teams there. You know what I mean? So where we know where we're gonna stay, we know how we're gonna get around, we know if we need to do this. I could tell you, I owe Trig a sit down, and when I go to Pittsburgh, he already got a day set up for me. You know what I mean? Like it's already a day set up for me. Like it's crazy that you can be able to slide into a city like that. When I go to Atlanta, we got a whole team out there. We got shit set up for us days. Like at the end of the day, bro, we we everywhere. Anybody that has any type of merch, any type of music, any type of anything y'all want to push, you can push through us. We'll push that shit, bro. All you gotta do is lock in with Meach Cakes, lock in with Trick Lucci, lock in with CHITOWN Baby Tough Tea Certified. You feel me? Product Beats, Soldier Quan, Saga. You feel me? Trizzy, man. We deep as fuck over here, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. And at the end of the day, bro, there's nothing like a team behind you that's gonna put the work in to get, get y'all shit sold, get our shit sold. Like at the end of the day, we all gonna make money. We all gonna get to it, man. Mish Cakes. Where do you see
But
where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? We're gonna say on the music side first, and then we're gonna get into to the baking side. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Music.
you guys, I honestly just want to keep growing my craft, get more into. If I had more time, I probably, well, if I kind of find a way to make more time, I guess is what I should
Yeah, yeah,
say.
yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely, that's why I made that investment in the piano. That was my way of spending money because now, when you spend money on something, you're gonna spend more time on it because
that's
now
facts.
you're right. You feel responsible for that purchase you made. So that's big reason why I invested in that piano because I made a commitment to spend more time making freestyle melodies, really tapping into some of those classical melodies that my dad would close his eyes and vibe out to, and then thinking, okay, do I hear an R&B beat? Do I hear a trap beat? Maybe, um, I downloaded one of the softwares to my MacBook. I
Yeah,
wanted to start watching some tutorials and
yeah,
learning how to piece it together. I can't wait to work with product, but in the
yeah,
meantime, just whenever I hear a melody, you know what I used to do, Top? I used to on my phone just hum it out, the
yeah,
melody in my head, then go
yeah,
back and play it on the piano, and then transpose the key if I felt like it was more of a minor or a major.
yeah,
But
yeah,
now I can do that right on the piano. But like everybody starts somewhere, and even 5 years from now, hey, I hope we're succeeding
yeah,
in the music industry. We got people coming to us saying, "Man, how much for that melody?" I
yeah,
heard so and so is about to hunt. I want first dibs.
yeah,
What's the price tag? What's the
yeah,
price tag for a beat from you guys? What's the price tag for a feature? You guys got packs because I want to buy five.
yeah, yeah,
I see
yes,
it being really, and you're right. It takes a team to succeed. I'm very team oriented.
yeah,
Even at work, I'm on a team of 14 people. I recently started working with my boss as becoming more of a team lead whenever she's not there, and that was like nerve wracking, but it was a great experience because she kind of was like, "These are the things you'll be responsible for a few days when I'm not there. Just make sure the team is, take care of these things for me." And I was like, I really appreciated her trusting me with that, and that's all it is. Is like with my brother's love of basketball, and he's in New York living his dream job, and he was like, it's always you win with a team. Everybody
yeah,
has their role in the team, but it takes a team to really win, and that's why I really appreciate having my own brand, but I have Space Game Mafia now, PTMG, to like I see like together like joining forces. There's just
yeah,
sky's the limit.
yeah,
So when it comes to music, I see us making a lot of music and a lot of money and a lot of connections.
yeah. I tell you what, man, Mish, it's so deep because like the foundation that we're creating, like you
Yes,
guys come with your package of everything, what you guys bring to the table. Um, Corey Lee White, in the live now, bringing me in with Indie God. So, now we have that on the table.
of course.
With the venue, Josh from YNC, he blesses me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? With the venues, he blesses me throughout these other states to be able to move. Because when you go into a state, you got to be able to know people in those states. That's
yep.
how it's easier to throw an event when you already know the promoter, you already know the people, you already got the following. It's easier to move around, and Josh has blessed us with that. You feel what I'm saying? On so YNC, Space Gang Mafia, PTMG, uh, we're talking with calligraphy music right now. You know what I mean? So, Meech, we're going to sit down with them, of course, and we're going to talk to them about management. 'Cause we need somebody to be able to manage a team over here, not just one artist. You know what I mean? So we need somebody that's able to do that as well. But we bring so much to the table, man. I don't mean to just drop all these names, but as a whole, everybody, I mean, as a separate, everybody brings their major, you know what I'm saying? Everybody carries their own weight, but that's why it works because no one's slacking. If if PTMG had to step back for a month, we know Space Gang Mafia is gonna keep everything relevant because they able to do that. I know if they step back for a month, we able to do that. You feel what I'm saying? Like as a team, we also have to be able to how do I say that? We also gotta be able to make up for when the other person, might need to
Yeah.
step back. There's 4 quarters. There's 4 quarters. That's why we have a team because everybody can't work for 4 quarters. You'll be tired as fuck. You will fall out. You will fall out. You will fall out, bro. So in order for us to move around, we have to realize that it's bigger than music. Like it's bigger than, our independency and what we want. Because there's more of us now. So it gotta be about what we all want together. You know what I mean? And it just it's gonna take some powerful people to do that. And Mish, I gotta say, you're one of those powerful people. Any conversation we have, we spark ideas, and some of those ideas, like I bring to season 4 of this new platform, Today's Wave, like from you to product to Sally to Josh to you know what I mean, to the whole team has gave me new ideas, and we were able to put that shit into the show. You know what I mean? So as a team, I believe in 5 years, we're gonna be doing exactly what you're saying we're gonna be doing. So if y'all's not tapped into us yet, y'all need to come tap in because we have everything to offer over here. You don't have to go nowhere. One stop shop with you guys right here, with your girls right here, man. It's Space Game Mafia, PTMG to the world, man. Y'all know the vibes, man. So in 5 years, where do you see Mish Cakes?
Um, in 5 years, I see niche cakes really honing in on like I like I like staying relevant. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the key. So even with the baking, I want to be on the latest treat trends, the things that the kids want, but then always put my spin on it. So I see myself not necessarily expanding bigger, having a whole. Most people they're like, oh well, I guess you want a big bakery building. No, not necessarily. I don't want a food truck. I don't have the concrete plan of it, but I just know whatever I'm doing now, 5 years, I'm going to be doing 5 times greater, five
yeah,
times even more impactful. I think that's the word I'm
yeah,
going for. I
yeah,
want to have the impact that is like hitting our generation where we are in 5 years, like really delivering. Like that's the kind of cake I want to eat when
yeah,
I bite into a slice. That's the home feeling I get. That's the happy place that she gives me, and whether it's a cool in 5 years from now, maybe it's a cool looking chocolate treat that everybody's really into. Maybe
yeah,
it's, you know, another variation of candy fruit. Maybe it's a classic yellow cake. You can never go wrong with that.
yeah,
But I want it to feel new every time. Every
yeah,
time you get something from me, it's
yeah,
something different, it's something new. It's
yeah,
and I think my personality and hopefully my character would have matured by then too. I know I'm still young and learning, but at the same
yeah,
time, I feel like I'm around so many great influences, including yourself, PTMG. Like it's only gonna go up from here in a good way, and so I'm
yeah,
excited for that. I'm living for today, but I'm also like 5 years from now, I see just that kind of growth and expansion, like
yeah,
doing more of what I'm touching now,
yeah.
but having a greater impact.
Yeah, that's what we want, growth. And when me and Product B say growth and development, that's what we mean. As long as we're growing and developing into something bigger than we already were. I'm not saying if it's a year from now and I went this much, you know what I mean, and there was no
Right.
hiccups, I'm cool with that because guess what? There was no hiccups. You feel what I'm saying? There was no
Yeah.
bad growth. It was all great growth. Um, when you get into investing, when you see people invest in stocks, they talk about impulse trading and
Hmm.
impulse moves. And at the end of the day, man, that's what we're doing. And
Yeah.
we're making impulse moves. We have to make decisions right now in what we do in order to create growth. Because if we wait too long, it could pass us. Life is too short. We got to go get this now. But we also have to be patient and make the right moves and make the right decisions. People always say, "Oh, this is chess. This is checkers." I don't believe this is a game. To me, this is not a game. This is everything is riding on this. My family, you know what I mean. My house, you know what I mean. My friends. people up under this label that like I promised them something. You know what I mean? So fuck what I need, you know what I mean? I wanna make sure they're cool first. I wanna make sure my supporters, my fans, and everybody is cool first, man. So that's where we gonna start at, man. Let's grow. Let's develop, man. I need everybody to come into this new platform, today's wave, and let's invest time in each other. Let's invest likes, shares, comments, downloads, streams. Let's invest that in each other. Let's invest in Mish cakes. Who cares if you don't like cookies and cakes and go support. You know what I mean? Let's support one another because we're independent and we need it to for us to get to the next level. So if you want to get to the next level and you would like the next person to support you, you know, treat them and support them as if you would want to be treated and supported, man. It's only what's right. Um, and I want to get back into this last question with Mish Cakes. You know, it's that's my hour, man. We got into a little bit of how she got into this. We got into a little bit of, what type of designs, what type of music, what type of people she's, working with, you know what I mean? But there's one question right here, man. If you can go back right now, man, and talk to any school, any kids, if you could, any youth group, if you can go back now to any youth group, any school, and talk to these kids and give them any information to keep them out the streets, what would it be and why?
Um, I would want them to really invest in their education. Not because I tutor, not because, but because that was so crucial to my growth. My dad had a PhD in electrical engineering. My mom was an elementary school teacher certification, certified elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
So they really, I'm not a teacher, but 50% of my coworkers are teachers or educators.
Okay.
I just came onto that company for sales. But
Yeah.
what I remembered in my initial interview with the company that I also work for outside of Mish Cakes is, you know, why do you want, you know, to be here? And I was like, I have a passion for education. That's why I'm an educational consultant.
Yeah.
Because I think the more you get educated, and it's not just being book smart, but it's like learn new things, learn. Um, Nowadays, all of our tutoring is online. So I listen to parents saying, well, he's always on the video game or YouTube and or Googling this and that, but needs a more one-on-one tutor. I'm like, yeah, but those are the resources they're tapping into. As long as they're learning something, we can guide the educational growth from there. It's
Yeah.
just being and guiding. But I would tell youth in schools now, never stop wanting to learn things. Always get educated on anything you want to learn how to do. um, Read up on it, try it, practice, go out there and find people who know a lot about, music, or who know a lot about beats. Hey, talk to us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you want to be a beat. I just sold tutoring to a guy who is a producer out in the San Fran Bay area, and he wanted to get some FL Studio mixing and mastering tutoring support. So I sold him a tutoring package. I got him set up with a certified FL Studio tutor, and you know, down to like a second grader who needs to learn how to read and is willing to get tutored. It
Yeah.
means you're willing to get the right help and instruction
Yeah.
that's to help you be better.
Yeah.
And so that would be my encouragement is, if I could just instill or share, it's just that drive and passion for
Yeah.
education, because it's not just about getting a degree, it's not just about finishing school. Those things are important, or going to college, because I hear the rebuttal of, well, I don't need a college degree to be successful. It's
Oh,
more
you do.
about
Oh, you do.
it can't hurt you. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, off the strength of where I got my degree in Pittsburgh, just because of where I got my degree, I will get 10 interviews once I put in a job inquiry, just because they heard of where I
100%.
went to. And
That's
it's
100%.
the name rings bells to them.
Yeah. It's
I want Beach
100%.
Cakes to be that name that rings bells about when it comes to
Yeah.
cakes and baking. PTMG, Space Game Mafia, to
Yeah.
ring bells when you hear about Pittsburgh music or
Yeah.
music in any of these cities.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal we're going for. But you get a sense of, as good people, as the
Yeah.
people behind the
Yeah.
brand, behind the label. And so for, yeah, the youth, I'd inspire, I would say, get pursue educational avenues. You want to become a great producer, learn a musical instrument, play piano, maybe
Huge.
take some piano lessons. These are great things because in the process of learning, you're growing, and in the
Yeah,
process of growing, your confidence is going to increase, and you're just giving yourself more and more ways to have that what we talked about impact. And
yeah,
I want this next generation of kids to know who they are because it
yeah,
seems like that's a little blurry right now with
yeah,
everything. It's hard to, whether it's a preference or just know. I want you to know who you are and feel like confident about yourself
yeah,
and being able to navigate this world with that compass of yourself being strong.
yeah.
That's really important. Um, and just be around the right influences that are going to help you, build that, have that right compass. I
Mhm.
think that'll steer away from being on the streets or wrong decisions if you are constantly placing yourself around people who want to see you educated, want to see you grow, want to see you learning the things that are going to make you successful, uh, whatever you end up doing.
That's 100%. That is 100%. Like that's the first time someone has said that on here. Education. Education is huge. Um, me, I have an education, but I'm a felon. That's the problem. I'm a felon. I do have an education, but I'm a felon. You feel what I'm saying? So there's not a lot of things I can't do. But had I did what Mish just explained to y'all, like, you know what I mean? Not just got an education, but took my education serious on like picking an avenue where I wanted to go with that education, even learning a little bit at a time. Like she said, like pick up on an instrument and then, you know, you might pick up on something else that has something else to do with music and you might later on down the road, like, but you still have time in the middle to chase your education first. I tell you what, like she said, that the name of her college alone gets her interviews that, you know, you would never get because you didn't go to a college like that or because you didn't go to college at all. You only have what it does is it shrinks our opportunity. Not
Right.
having an education shrinks our opportunity. And what we want to do is we want to give our younger generation a bigger opportunity than we had. I have more people telling me not to go to school than go to school coming
Mm.
up. You know what I mean? Because whatever their beliefs were, or just because everybody thinks sports and, going to school for this, this, and this is more important than that education. But guess what? A lot of those people fell out of school. A lot of those people, you know what I mean, fucked that opportunity up because they just didn't get that education. So now they're bouncing job to job. They probably can't hold a job, or they're working for some dead end job that they live in paycheck to paycheck on because they can't get something bigger. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, Misha, I do believe you. I agree with you 100%, man. We need to make a better impact on these kids, and we need to start telling them education, 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 education instead of other things. You know what I mean? Because that education is definitely huge, for
And
sure.
I come from a background where like I probably experienced a different kind of pressure. I had very strict conservative Asian American parents where it's like if you are in the top 25 university, you're a disappointment. And so it was a different pressure, like kids are getting sick, like because they felt like, like I'm the person who got grounded if I fell below a B and got, some kind of discipline if I got my GPA started to slip below a B level.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know, in my culture and the way I was
I was
raised,
gonna say that's probably big in your culture.
it's more about now I can say, and I think you and I bring these like two different sides, and I think that's like the where I'm trying to kind of bring the common ground where I feel like I appreciate where you came from because then you're like they, now you see or like you've always seen the value in education, but yet people steering away from that. And for me, it was more of a pressure of if I don't get in the top 15 university, I'm nothing. I've
Yeah,
completely failed myself and my parents, and so it was like I didn't really get into trouble because I feared that look in my dad's eyes of
right,
disappointment. Like he
right.
didn't really have to do a lot to me because it was like I wanted to please him so much.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so it was like, but I'm more like, hey, if you get in the top 100 university, it doesn't have to be top 25. Just be great where you are. Do your
Yeah,
best where you are,
yeah,
because that's where you're going to take that success you achieved where you are, and it's going to translate into whatever profession you go into next.
yeah,
So don't worry so much about being in an Ivy League university or having to have this degree or that, or boasting because you have 10,000 degrees, but your common sense is not that strong.
yeah.
You got, everybody has weaknesses, everybody has strengths. So um, and honestly, I want to say this before I go ahead. This is kind of a tangent, but I appreciate, with PTMG being here, like you guys have kind of really helped me with promotion and just even this interview, like taking some burden off my shoulders of how to always have to find the ways to promote and constantly doing a lot of that legwork. I definitely, and that's part of the aspect of why I want to be a part of the team, because
Yeah.
carry each other, and I get some of the, hopefully I'm contributing, and then you guys are also helping me get that exposure. So that's
Good.
been really, really helpful. And thank you.
Yeah. And we thank you as well, man. What we're trying to do here, and I'm gonna just be real short and frank. What we're trying to do here is build a foundation so strong. And with me and Product Beach, when we started this, we both decided that, we were gonna stand on strictly business. We wanted to be known for good business. We wanted to be
Hmm.
known for not being liars, not being manipulators, none of that. We just wanted to be the best at what we did. You know what I mean? Like she said, we want to be a household name. When you hear Post Traumatic Music LLC, when you hear PTMG, already know what to expect. You know what I mean? Because it's a household name, and we bring pleasantness. We bring, there ain't gonna be no shootings, no fights. You know that it's gonna be a great time. You know that we bring in great energy, and that's what we want to be known for, man. So in order to do that, you have to find people to work with that are just like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, put yourself in a circle, like, not necessarily millionaires, you know what I mean? It could be those, but I like people who have ideas, who dream big, who aren't scared to fail. Because at the end of the day, if you're not dreaming, if you're not sparking ideas, if you're not chasing dreams, you're never gonna know what you're good at. You're never gonna know what you could have done. You're just gonna be wondering, oh, what if I did this, or if I could have did this. I don't want to be him. I want to be that person that did it. You feel what I'm saying? Just did it. Like, and I want to be the person that works with those people that did it as well. So I rather work with people like Mish Cakes. I'd rather work with people like, Corey Lee White, because if you think about it, independently, each of us decided at one time that we were gonna take our own business and and do it. And guess what we did? We got out here and did it. We did it. You know what I mean? We got our own exposure. We got our own fan base. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been great, man. So each of us alone carries our own silver spoon, man. And I can't wait till we get to sit down at this table and dive in this plate, because this plate gonna be plentiful. This
Yeah,
plate gonna be plenty. Y'all know what it is, man. I had Mish Cakes in the live today, man. We got to dive inside the mind of a dope entrepreneur on the baking side, on the music side. Mish, it says I could have up to 4 people here. I'm gonna book a day where we can get, Space Gang Mafia and PTMG in here, and we can just get in here, play some music, vibe out, have a good time, man. Anybody that comes on for an interview, you're always welcome back to review music. Me and Trick started the top 10. You can come over here, help us get this top 10. We can vibe out anytime you want to. Just, you already know, we family. It's always up.
awesome.
I want you to give them your social medias one more time. Let them know where they can find you. Let them know what we're at on social media, what your names and stuff is.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or my main platforms. Where if you have any baking questions, or even you want to place an order, SG Misha on Facebook, SG Misha on Instagram, and then you can also hit up my Mish Cakes business page. It's basically Mish Cakes with my logo, and then Mish Cakes underscore SG Misha at Instagram. I got my QR codes finally, so I can, when you get my order, you'll be able to get right to my Instagram too. So, just trying to drive more traffic to the brand. But yeah, you can find me on basically right now Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Misha as well. It's all the same name.
Heart, man. And you can also find her right here on the Stu platform. We're streaming YouTube, we're streaming Twitch, and we're also streaming Facebook, man. 3 different platforms, man. You know, I'll drop them links for you. Mish, I'll also send you the link. So what I'll do is I'll post that link right on my page, pin it at the top, so y'all can go ahead, click that link, go over to the YouTube, go over to the Twitch, and get that thing busting as well, man. Mish, I appreciate you. You already know. I'd love to have you back anytime you want to. Just reach out to me, man. That's our time, man. We turned up today, man. I appreciate you. It's CHITOWN, baby. This is the Stu Today's Wave. Everybody, Mish Cakes. Let's get it in, man. Y'all know the vibe. Let's
Shottown
go.
family FT certified. This is where we
This
smoke
is
that
today's wave,
we
hottest and fastest
talk
growing
that
platform in the
pressure,
game.
we play
And I am
that
your
pressure.
motherfucking host,
Right here on
CHITOWN,
today's
baby.
wave.
My
Some of the hottest
special
artists
guest,
come right through
Mish
here.
Cakes.
Interviews,
Let's get it
marketing,
poppin'.
promotion, you name it. Let's get it poppin'.